Hey guys, Native American Tatanka. You're listening to We Are Wrestling Old School versus New School.
Stick to what you know how to do best. That's talk into that and sign checks. Leave the rest on to me, Daddy.
Up goes Blanchard. My hard-earned tax money.
1, 2, 3, guaranteed victory.
It's always you, Brett.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
I can tell you it's going to be a day that I'm never going to forget. A lot of things I want to get off my chest.
What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, the best one, Donnie, here with a special guest. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey, what's going on? A long time ago, I was known as the voice of the internet, so I'll stick with that. But what's up? I'm Phil. I'm old. That's what we're going for here. I'm old. He's new school. But I mean, I'm kind of both. But I guess we're just playing up the thing that I'm old. So yeah, I'm the old guy now. I can embrace that, I guess, for an hour or so.
That's right. So, unfortunately, guys, you guys are all probably wondering where Chad Smith is this week on Old School versus New School. He's got some things going on, and you guys all know on the series Old School versus New School, I like to learn a lot about Old School, and I've been listening to Chaz for about 8 episodes talk about the same Macho Mans, Hulk Hogan's, and I really want to get another perspective from an Old School fan. That's why we brought Phil on this episode. But before we dive into this, if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know the grind is real. So to start off Old School versus New School with you, Phil, let's talk about the history of how you got into professional wrestling. Because everybody's got stories.
Like when I grew up with it, like my first memories of watching it on TV.
Yes.
Dude, God, I'm aging myself here, but around 1985, 86, watching WWF on my grandfather's lap, dude, and seeing Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, dude. But the big one that got me, dude, was the Ultimate Warrior around like 88. Then I became obsessed, man. Like WrestleMania 6, like the buildup for that was real, man.
Yeah, WrestleMania 6. Wasn't that Hulk Hogan versus Warrior, champion versus champion?
Yeah, IC versus world title, man. Hogan and Warrior, dude. Like the 8-year-old in me was like, fuck Hulkamania. I'm like, I want to run the fucking Ultimate Warrior guy. He has cool face paint. He's using like the best steroids since Rambo. And I mean, it's just fucking shaking the ropes. It's just everything a wrestling fucking like fan as a kid needs, man. It's got that like fucking high power entrance you can't beat, like running to the ring, dude. It's theater at its finest. And that's what hooked me, man. Just seeing the Warrior run to that ring, dude. The yellow Intercontinental title, man. Like that got me. Oh yeah. Oh, it turns out shittiest person in the fucking world, dude. But like, you know, he dies. We forgave him, but that's another story for another day.
Yeah, and that's the thing about like something I notice about Old School over New School. Something that's missing in today's, professional wrestling is the presentation of, the characters. Like Ultimate Warrior, the reason why I feel like he was so, captivating to, the young audience and a young, you was because of the presentation, the face paint, all the colors he was wearing, shaking the ropes, toyetic.
Man, absolutely, dude. And the promos, God, the promos, dude. Like, I'm going to take you on a nosedive, Hulk Hogan. Like, it's the most ridiculous shit you'll ever hear in your entire life, dude. Like, it makes no sense then. It makes no sense fucking now. But, dude, I'm sitting there going, yeah, take him, man. Let's take him. I'll go with you. Let's do it. Yeah, let's get crazy.
You see that? The thing is about you old school fans, you're so lucky that you had all of these iconic characters like the Macho Mans, the Hulk Hogans, also, the Randy Savages and
Yeah, well, dude,
Ultimate
me,
Warriors.
besides Warrior, man, like when I started watching, like when I get
Mhm.
past the whole theatrics of just like, oh, that guy's cool, that's my guy, and I started appreciating the sport of professional wrestling. I mean, that's when I started noticing the Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. That's when I started
Yep.
noticing Ravishing Rick Rude, Rick the Model Martel, Tito Santana. And I remember one of the matches that really did it for me when I was getting older and progressing as a fan was WrestleMania 10, Brett and Owen. Like the build up
Yes.
that was just phenomenal, man. And then to have it open the card and just tear the house down, dude. Like with that match had everything. I got goosebumps, dude. I got goosebumps right now because I'll never forget the first time watching it, man. And just like watching the 10 open and Owen coming out as the Rocket, Brett in the ring, and just man, that was wrestling. That's like if there was an Oscar for wrestling, man, that would be like the best fucking picture, in my opinion, of one of the best storylines and match payoffs in wrestling history.
And that's the thing, like, for me, I've always said this, WrestleMania 9 and WrestleMania 10, I know a lot of people at the time didn't enjoy it as much because you didn't
Yeah.
have those crazy main eventers because it was around the time where Bret Hart was becoming that WrestleMania, the
Yeah.
main eventer. And the thing is, I loved WrestleMania 9 and 10 because I felt like it was, pretty much about the brand WrestleMania. And
Yes,
like, they
absolutely.
really marketed that. And like, especially WrestleMania 10, I
Oh
loved
yeah.
how they
They
did
had
it
the
in
celebrities
94.
different that way. The way they did the setup, the lighting, like you could just tell they were going for something different and trying to bring the company in a different direction. I mean, you look at like the past WrestleManias, you had like the Roman theme. 1, 2, and 3 don't count for me for theatrics. That
Yeah.
was more just holy shit, they pulled this off. But like they started getting really theatrical, I'd say around like 8, 8, 9, 10, kept getting progressively more like, oh, there's a theme now. Like each month, each
Yeah.
year's WrestleMania will have a theme to it. Like come to 13 with like the Fire and Mike Tyson and shit, and then WrestleMania 2000 goes Hollywood like they're redoing now. Like you're right, they were like it was basically them branding WrestleMania as, hey, this is our World Series and we're gonna treat it as such now.
Exactly. And that's the thing, like with 94 that I was going to talk about. I loved how in the Royal Rumble in 94, you had Lex and Brett. They both win the Rumble, and then they do like a heads or tails, and then
Yeah,
pretty much Lex, wins. So he gets the match against Yoko earlier in the night. But instead of Brett just waiting for the main event of the winner who would already wrestle one match, it made sense they would have him, go against Owen Hart because of the feud
yep,
that they had. And then, it would lead to Owen getting put over in the opening match. And then, all the pretty much good guys won, the matches at Mania 10. And Bret
yep,
Hart, beats Yokozuna, has that iconic moment. And then you have Owen looking right at him. And that
yep.
creates the next feud going into the summer of 94.
Exactly, man. And I mean, a little throwback to the new school with that too. The last time I can think of something like that happening was the WrestleMania. I think it was 30, maybe, with Seth Rollins and Randy Orton opening the card, and Seth
Oh,
Rollins
yeah.
winning that match, and then later that night cashing in Money in the Bank at the main event and winning the belt. It was just like a redemption angle. Like oh wow, he's out again. Oh god, he's cashing in. Kind of like holy shit, Owen just won. Oh wait, there's no way Brett's winning the belt. Whoa, Brett just there's Owen. Like that to me is like another like Rollins moment. That was just amazing. That's like one of those moments that like the WrestleMania moment, dude. And I think those started like, I mean, you've got to go to Hogan and Andre and Warrior and like Owen and Brett's a moment, dude. Like that's my
Mhm.
big WrestleMania moment that I'll always harken back to, dude. Like it was just iconic.
And that's the thing, like with WrestleMania nowadays, that's missing is those WrestleMania moments. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, like, I'm very excited about this WrestleMania because for the first time ever, I think, with Triple H's booking, it's been, incredible. And I think that this WrestleMania could potentially be one of those manias that we're going to look back 10 years from now and say, holy shit, that
Yeah.
was
Oh
a
yeah. I
good freaking
absolutely
mania.
agree, man. It's been a wild year with Triple H's booking. And like, I mean, it's great. It's so nice to watch, dude. It's so good to see Gargano like out. It's so good to see Bronson back. It's so good to see like all these people coming out and just like him running an NXT Black and Gold main roster. Like I love it. I know there's some people who prefer the Vince way of booking, but like, I mean, it's what we've seen so far in WWE hasn't just made me like a fan again. It's made me like a renewed, like, dude, I plan my weeks around watching and keeping up with content now again. And I haven't done that in a while.
We are Wrestling Maniac.
Yeah, there you go, man.
So diving now into, the old school stuff, when was your first show that you went to? Because everybody has their first shows.
It was a WWF at the time, Superstars taping in 1996 at the Springfield Civic Center. The main event that night was supposed to be the Ultimate Warrior because it was right when he came back at WrestleMania against Triple H, but all that shit started happening. So we ended up getting Ken Shamrock, I think, as a referee or something with Gold Dust and Too Cold Scorpio.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Them trying to get Shamrock in there.
Yeah, I remember I that was my first big show. And after that show, I was hooked again now on going. Like it's, oh God, between 96 and 2003, I mean, I probably went to 70 shows. Like I went to every time there was something in Springfield, Hartford, Providence, New Hampshire, something within a driving distance, man. Like, I'm like, dude, fuck it. We're going, man. Nosebleed or not, let's go party. Like, let's go watch Raw.
The funny thing is, you just said 96 to 2003. 2003, that was my first wrestling show I went to.
Oh,
it was a WWE live event in Springfield. I believe the Mass Mutual Center. Yep. And this was Shane McMahon versus Kane in the steel cage.
Damn, I remember that, dude. I don't know if I went to that show, but I remember when that was main eventing the house shows, dude. Yeah, I think I went to a house show and saw that main event. That's fun, dude. Yeah, man. Freaking. And that's one thing I miss too is old school house shows, getting the program, dude, with the paper insert, with who's going to be there. The internet's not going to spoil it for you, what's going to happen ahead of time, man. Like, you're going in fucking blind. You don't know who's there, what's going to happen, man. Like, nowadays, it's like you can get match cards start to finish with fucking match times online. Like, it's weird. Like, I miss it. Like, that's kind of like with Cody coming back at the Rumble. It's like, dude, we all knew he was coming back. But like, why hype it that he's coming back? Like, I mean, to give us a surprise, man. Like, there's hardly any surprises anymore in wrestling, and it's just.
Well, here's the thing. I always have to tell old school Chaz this. This right here is what ruined professional wrestling.
Absolutely, dude. It really did. It's so true. It's like you have everything in your fucking pocket, dude. Why not? Like, but yeah, it really took away that feeling. Like, I mean, dude, I'll never forget. Like, can you imagine if the internet was around back when friggin' Hulk Hogan was about to turn heel, dude, with the NWO in format that night? And like, you knew ahead of time going in that was going to happen. And that was like on the Meltzer report, dude. That right there, that moment, man, like, dude, I know like all wrestling fans my age know where they were like the night that Hulk Hogan turned heel. And it was like, what? Okay, I like where this is going. It's pretty fucking cool. And then like the birth of the NWO. And then all of a sudden, like in high school, all the people who are making fun of the wrestling are now like wearing NWO shirts. They're smelling what the fucking Rock is cooking, dude. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. Like, when I was a short fat kid, you were picking on me for this shit. Fuck you. Get off my bandwagon, bitch. Like, no, this is mine. And then it just spiraled, man. Like, when you'd see the signs in the fucking audience, dude, sold out buildings. Like, there were people who would party outside beforehand, dude. Like, wrestling shows were wild back in the day. That's why like punk rock and wrestling go together so well, because it's such a mesh of the same type of fucking crowd, man, and the same energy of people just getting together that love something, that just want to fucking party, dude. Like, and that's what I miss about wrestling nowadays. I don't feel that as much. Maybe it's because I'm fucking getting older and I got kids, but I'd like to think that even the younger generation aren't having as good of a time as we were when we were your age.
Exactly. And that's the thing, like when it comes to Blitzkrieg Pro, a promotion that we're both, very well known. That's why I enjoy, this independent promotion in our area, Blitzkrieg Pro, a lot, because it feels like, a party. Not just, you're getting great wrestling. It also just has that punk rock, party vibes to it.
Amen,
bro. So different.
That's exactly what it is. And that's why, like, good little lead in there, Mr. I'm a professional podcaster. That's why I work with Blitzkrieg. That's why I like bringing people to Blitzkrieg, is because of Jeremy. big secret, Jeremy. Like, we'll just call him that. I don't want to like give away any backstage secrets and shit, but like, he has a great mind. He has a great mind. He has a great passion, and he's just a chill dude. And that's what got me back working in wrestling. That's what made me go down the road of saying, you know what, dude, like, I want to start bringing wrestlers to shows. I want to start showcasing talent. I want to start like doing things. And then, of course, Triple V, much love to Triple V. He renewed my passion and like, hey, we can bring this party to someone and actually make something. And that's when I got involved with Dream Mania, went down to Florida, and then I brought the party back up here for that. It was to make that punk rock element and to try and feel that again. And that's why I love Blitzkrieg. That's why I won't work with any other wrestling group up here but Blitzkrieg, because it's that love and that loyalty and that just camaraderie that you just don't get anywhere else. And to find that in a business sense of the world is next to fucking impossible. So what Jeremy created and what we have and what the Blitzkrieg faithful have, goosebumps. Again, second time this show, dude. That's what makes wrestling special. I can't think of anything on this earth, entertainment-wise, other than wrestling in a way. Football, dude, I'm a huge football fan. Basketball, I know you're a huge basketball fan. But to pick a guy, get behind it, go on a storyline, go on a crafted storyline, a well-crafted one that sometimes can throw you off. It's like, it brings you every kind of emotion, man. And to have that all in once with the entrances, the music, it's a party. It was a party for people who didn't have a place to be before. And that's how punk rock got started. That's why both of these mixing together is such a beautiful thing. And that's why I love Blitzkrieg, man. It's all that. It's what you said.
Absolutely, man. But before, we dive into, some of the stuff that you've done, on the road and stuff, because of course, you brought wrestlers to Blitzkrieg Pro and, you've done that for some time. I want to talk about the differences with the house shows today and before, because, we got into it a little bit.
Or professional.
Yeah. And like, here's my question to you.
Yep.
When it comes to these promotions like AEW, who aren't really doing house shows and they're only worried about TV, how do you feel about that as an old school fan?
It makes it harder to see the product. That's for sure. Back in the 90s, that would make it hard. It would be a lot akin to ECW. To be able to go to an ECW show, it was kind of like a word of mouth kind of thing, or you see the ad in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, or you'd stay up till 1 a.m. to watch it on WUNI Channel 13 Spanish television on a Friday fucking night, dude. Like, it was this secret little gem that we had. So we knew how to get there. We knew how to go. We knew how to bring it to the mainstream. But AEW, how they're doing it, what they're doing right that fits with this day and age so well is Tony Khan is letting some of his wrestlers do independent shows still. So that's why we can see like Max Caster, we can go see like Evil Uno, we can see All Ego Ethan Page, and then we can watch them on TV the same week. And you don't just get to go see them like at a house show, bro. You get to go meet them, shake hands, take pictures. Like that wasn't a fucking thing, dude, back then. That really never really happened as much. You'd have to go to like a special event show where they had like a bunch of people who were already off TV signings, and it was like super expensive or super rare. You'd even get it, dude, or it'd just be the up and coming guys. But like, dude, I get to see Christian, fucking like AJ Styles, Bryan Danielson. Oh God, dude, like the list could go on and on. All wrestling gymnasiums, dude, like when they were nobodies, man. And I remember like taking pictures with them with my fucking camera and having actual pictures that like I had to print out.
I used to bring my cameras like that to shows all the time.
It was just like I'd show people like, oh dude, look at this one, look at this one. Oh, this is this guy. He's gonna be fucking great. Like it's that fucking family. So AEW is doing that. Like they're doing a fan service like no other company I've ever fucking seen by letting independents book their wrestlers. That's awesome. So kudos, hats off to them. This is a really long-winded answer. I'm going to blame marijuana and my love of wrestling. So I'm sorry about
It's all good. That's the thing. Like I have a similar story to what you were just saying with one guy right now that's in AEW. He's the AEW World Champion, MJF. He is a We Are Wrestling Maniac, by the way. He said it on the vlog. So with MJF, I got to watch him a lot in Blitzkrieg Pro before he, made it onto MLW and then, going from MLW to All Elite Wrestling. And it's crazy to see like the talent Like, this is why I tell people all the time, you have to go out and support your local, independent promotions out there. Because that is where the future of this business is. Like, a lot of people now are starting to see Platinum, Max Caster on AEW in one of the most popular tag teams in today with the Acclaimed.
Yep.
And we got to see him with Shook Crew
Yep.
for years before, transitioning from the independent circuit to AEW, winning a tag title.
Yep. We got 2 major champions that both have wrestled for Blitzkrieg. Like,
and that's the thing too. Like, when it comes to, like the AEW, not doing live events and stuff, it's great that we get to see them, with the independent circuit and stuff. We get the opportunities to meet them and get that, one-on-one interaction with them. But I do think, like, AEW, that is one thing, like, I know they are going to be doing soon, is house shows. And I know in the past, a lot of old school fans said that pretty much, like, the live events would be where these wrestlers would, get their ring work in, where they would, put in the work and, they would do the matches like Andre and Hulk before their match at WrestleMania 3. They would be wrestling at the live events to get ready for that.
That was a little before the time of me going to shows, and they didn't really do that at the shows I went to. Because like I said, I started going in 95, 96. I didn't see any, I watched the shows in the 80s and 90s, but I never got to go to one in person to see them practicing main events like that. Like saying, hey, let's see if this works out here. What we more got was introductions to new people back then. Yeah. Like they'd bring out someone they were going to put on TV. I remember our show in Springfield, 96, the first one I went to, the Executioner debuted on Superstars. And I didn't know if they were going to use it on TV or not. But I don't know if you remember the Executioner. He worked with Paul Bearer. Yes. It was Bam Bam Terry Gordy, man. Like, I remember looking there going, holy shit, that's Terry Gordy. Why the fuck is he doing this? Like, and I remember
I'm going to tell you this. I actually did not know it was Terry Gordy.
You didn't know that, dude?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, that's Bam Bam Terry Gordy,
dude. That's the guy with like the black, like he had the black mask on.
Oh, dude,
right?
he had the horrible mask and the cape, bro. Bro, that was Bam Bam Terry Gordy. Vince did him wrong.
I can't believe that. Bro. Wow. Holy shit.
It was so heartbreaking. I remember I'm sitting there with my buddy and I look at him, I'm like, that's Bam Bam. And to throw it out, we threw out the fucking thumb, dude, for the spike. And he looks and he nods and sure as shit, boom, ends the jobber with the fucking spike. But like, I think he main evented one in your house against Taker during that like Paul Bearer turn fucking era.
I do remember that in like 96.
Yeah, I mean, it was fucking horrible. Yeah. That's what we got. We got like practice of the Executioner. We got like an opening contest with TL fucking Hopper, bro. Do you remember TL Hopper?
I do not.
Oh, bro, let me drop some knowledge on TL Hopper. TL Hopper was a plumber. That's his gimmick. He's a fucking plumber. That's it. And know who he would fight that night? He'd fight the Goon. Know what the Goon was?
Yes, I do. That player. I do know. The hockey player,
those two would be in a match. Then you'd get Techno Team 2000, which looked like they're wearing fucking goddamn aluminum foil on their shoulders, and they fell into a bat of fucking like that girl's notebooks they make in the fucking 1980s. The Sarah something did the pink ones. Like, what the fuck is that shit, dude? Like, we got that. We got.
Hey, what about Isaac Yankem?
MVP kind of character, dude. Like, it was weird, man. There was like such shit wrestling for a while that people forget about it and they glorify how good it was back then. But dude, it was 80% shit. Like there was like lot 96, of shit,
wasn't it? You had even like Kane back then. He was Isaac Yankem.
Oh god, dude. Then he was Fake Diesel.
I do remember that, the Fake Diesel.
Oh, dude, that was like, oh well, we still own the gimmicks, and Vince is like, you know what I'm gonna do, dude? I don't know if he was trying to be funny with that or trying to be serious, but like none of it worked. None of that works, dude. And who knew that Isaac Yankem, dude, would be like one of the greatest big men of our fucking time?
Absolutely crazy. And that's the thing, like, even, in WCW, like, they even fumbled the bag with a lot of, these stars that really, took off in the Attitude Era. Like, we had Stunning Steve Austin that was, in WCW. Then we had, Mean Mark Callis, who became The Undertaker.
Oh, yeah, Taker, yep. A lot of the things, though, that, like, here's what I think the successful formula for how the Attitude Era was created, the good parts of it, was Paul Heyman. It was ECW. There's no way in fuck it wasn't ECW. Because see, you just said like WCW dropped the ball with these stars. They sure did. Absolutely. Where'd they go after? They went to ECW, to Paul Heyman's little fucking playground, dude. And that's when Steve Austin cut the promo of his fucking life, dude. And that's when he became like, whoa, dude, this guy's fucking serious, man. Like, then you see like fucking Cactus Jacket in there, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, like all these guys that would become household names, man, all went through that system first to hone their new personas that like Vince tried to make. I remember, oh God, I just mentioned his name, dude. Shit. He took one of these guys in and he tried to change him and make him something they weren't. And then, oh yeah, Steve Austin, the ringmaster. Yeah. Started off as a ringmaster. Right after the ECW shit, like, it's like, why are you wasting this guy like this? Then all of a sudden he cuts that promo at King of the Ring 96, man. And
Austin 316
born. And then you're seeing these promos, they're like, dude, that's the guy. That's the guy who was doing this at 1 a.m. on Channel 13 on Friday night. Like, this guy's big. That's what AEW and that's what the independents are doing right now. And Blitzkrieg even, dude. Like, there's a few guys that wrestle for Blitzkrieg, and I'm like, dude, just wait. You're going to be like watching this guy on TV in a year. And
I say that to people all the time.
You're going to be like, oh shit, is that the guy that I saw there? Like, there's so many fucking goddamn stars in there. Like, I mean, it's VSK was their champion for a year. And I mean, I've seen so many matches with him, dude.
Me too.
That motherfucker is amazing. Like, he is
so good.
And it's like, I'm so glad he's got the Jeeves thing going in AEW. You know that's not where he's going to end, dude. He's going to keep going up and up, dude. Like, he's one of them, dude. Like, Bobby Orlando is one of the most entertaining independent wrestlers on the fucking planet.
And that's the thing that drives me crazy, like talking about some of these Blitzkrieg guys and like independent guys that are in the Northeast.
Yeah.
I think about promotions like NWA, Impact Wrestling, and I'm like, you can use a guy like Bobby Orlando.
Who couldn't use a guy like Bobby Orlando, dude? He's one of those guys that like just he's got it, dude. He's got this. He figured it out. He figured something out and he just stuck to it. And he's now just getting it better as he goes, dude. Like him and fucking Bryce, dude, as the Ship Crew, even Solo, both of them, like they're special people, dude. Like those people are gonna be something, man. Like, and you're gonna be there and say, holy shit, like, dude, CPA could be the next Orange Cassidy. Tell me I'm not wrong. I'm not right.
I say that all the freaking time.
Like that motherfucker is so naturally funny, and he's one of the nicest fucking people on the planet.
Yes.
Like it's, and he works his ass off, dude. Like, and it's just, he found a niche and found something and made it himself. And like, that's the thing. Back then, Vince would take someone like that from the independents that you love and just name them Farouk. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Take Ron Simmons and name him Farouk. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, now when they're jumping, if they're allowed to take their name with them, they're just being themselves and these great wrestlers. But like, that's what's weird. Like back in the day, like the Bobby Orlandos, like in 96, he wouldn't have fit because they were taking that seriously. Like the TL Hopper, like that guy was supposed to be menacing. He came out in fucking coveralls with like a fucking plunger, dude. Like, that's supposed to be scary. Bobby comes out with a fucking goat, but it's hilarious now because not everyone's doing that. He's taking something like back then and making it funny and then making it his own. It's like so multi-layered. And that's where it's like the art of professional wrestling. Because like, you're not just learning the craft, you're fucking learning like yourself. You're creating a character. You're creating like this persona that you dialed to fucking 11, man, as The Rock calls it. Like, and you're making art. And that's what wrestling is so fucking amazing, dude. And like, there's so many amazing local artists, we can even call them, on the independent scene right now.
It's gonna be different this year. We're gonna be at Donnie's house again this year.
Not one, but two
nights. Yeah, you're definitely gonna want to be there for sure. It's gonna be fucking A1. Be there, be square.
That are gonna be fucking stars, man. And MJF, there's one big one, dude. 3 years ago, wrestling in fucking like Springfield, Enfield. Now, like, he's the world champion.
Exactly. And that's the thing that this is why, you know, you got to support your indie wrestling. Absolutely. And like, especially now, like I know this year ruined professional wrestling,
Yeah.
but the thing is, one good thing about this device right here is that these independent stars can, go out and get their
Yes.
stuff out there for people to see.
Other than that, we had a thing called RF video. Did you ever hear that?
I never heard of that. No.
RF video, dude. Here you go. Do yourself a little Google search tonight and look how hard we had it. We would get these clippings in the back of like Pro Wrestling Illustrated or The Wrestler, and it would have tapes like ECW, like 1 hour, Reading, Pennsylvania. Show was 3/16/30, and you'd pay $30 or trade for these VHS tapes. They'd mail you in the mail so you could watch independent wrestling.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like RF video was the shit, man. Like it was one of those unknown, like, wow. And it created this whole scene called like tape trading. So like what you guys are doing on YouTube, like putting up like best of reels, like, oh, here's an independent match. Here's my favorite this. Like people would collect these house shows and they mailed them to each other, dude. And we'd have this whole sharing community of like, oh, did you see this one yet? No, send it to me that way. I remember getting the fucking I think it was early 90s, I think. Between 90 and 95, we'll call it, because I don't want to like get it wrong. But the King of Deathmatch with fucking Mick Foley and Terry Funk from overseas. Like I remember watching that entire thing on a VHS tape that I traded a buddy to watch. That's how I got to see it. Because like YouTube wasn't there, man. But like we found a way in this community to like trade wrestling tapes, trade shows. Like the people with hot boxes would record the fucking pay-per-views illegally off their fucking TV, dude, and trade their
You know what's funny with the VCRs? I used to do that. Like I would go to Blockbuster or Hollywood Home Videos. I would, get a VCR, and then what I would do is I would basically copy it, so I would have it basically when I would have to bring it back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely, dude.
All the time.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, man. Technology, it's like we found ways to make it work. So like in a way, there was a group of people who would write letters, but by the time you got the letter, dude, like the spoiler would have already happened live, so you still kind of got to see it. So it wasn't like, oh, dude, tonight on Raw, this is gonna happen. God damn it, dude. Why'd you tell me that, man? Like, I like the surprise. I like
Takes away the fun, man.
It does. It really does, man. But like it's what it's doing for the sport now, the renewed interest, and like I gotta say, like, I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it for that alone, dude, to bring professional wrestling to the people, And that's what it is. It's wrestling is back again. We can learn. They're using the term wrestling. Like when they took that away, that was like fucking what? Like now it's back. That's good. That's real good.
Because that's the thing. Like it felt like when Vince McMahon before like Triple H, took over, it felt like Vince McMahon. He was going back to like 95, 96.
Oh, dude,
turning Karrion Kross.
Bro,
before he
I
left,
literally
Keith
started
Bearcat Lee.
Oh, dude, I remember telling my fiance, I'm like, I think I'm gonna take a break from watching again for a while, dude. Like I can't do it. When they turned black and gold into the fucking like the new thing and like 2.0, I was like, oh fuck, dude, no. And then fucking thank God McMahon's a fucking pervert and got caught finally. I mean, are we all really surprised about this? No.
Yeah. Absolutely nuts, man. And that's the thing. Like, I'm happy that Triple H, has taken over creative because I think he understands us hardcore, maniacs out there. And that's why so far he has not fumbled a pay-per-view that he's had. The Bloodline, Sami Zayn, best storyline in friggin' wrestling, period, in the last like 10 to 20 years. We have not had something like that in such a long time. And overall, Triple H is spreading out the talent well. Like at the Elimination Chamber.
That's for sure.
We had Bronson Reed, wrestle. We had Johnny, Johnny Takeover wrestling. Like, I really like what Triple H has done so far, with WWE, and I can't wait to see, what happens moving forward after WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, dude.
We're going to get the brand split.
I got to throw some love, as you were mentioning it, like the past few pay-per-views and stuff. That men's United States title Elimination Chamber match, dude. Oh, my God, dude. Hats off. That one showcased. Everyone who walked out of that match walked out. They were here. They're now here. Like, That's how you fucking do it, dude. That was a masterpiece, dude. I think Abyss and
Abyss and Jamie Noble.
Yeah, Jamie Noble did that match, and dude, my God, that was a fucking masterpiece, dude. That was fucking wrestling, man. That was awesome.
I said it in the Elimination Chambers prediction video here on the We Are Wrestling channel. That
Did you?
So
Good
the
call,
the men's Elimination Chamber match, a lot of people were going into it. Why are these 6 people in it? I was telling them, look, there's a reason why they're doing this, and they exactly did what I knew was going to happen.
I remember telling my fiance, because we watched together, and I was like, oh, dude, this chamber match is going to steal the show. Like, there's no way it's fucking not going to steal the show. Sammy going to have the biggest fucking pop you're ever going to see, but that match is going to steal the fucking show. And it stole the fucking show. Like, if it had, I can't pick a favorite spot. Like, it's everyone went out. I'm like, oh, God, don't make him be the first to be pinned. Don't make him that. But then as the match kept going, it didn't matter. It didn't matter who got eliminated what. Everyone walked out with their stock fucking higher, dude. And that's wrestling. That's fucking wrestling, man. When you're like, wow, over all these new people, that's when you're creating new stars finally.
And that's the thing that Triple H is doing a fantastic job doing, I think.
Amen.
And I really think, with Tony Khan, my prediction with like what's going to happen when it comes to like the Elite, I see, Kenny Omega making the transition to WWE, and I see what's going to happen. AEW in a couple of years is going to go into a full rebuild mode, and they're going to continue. They're going to start working on the homegrown talent like the Darby Allins and Sammy Guevara's. Because I always said this, like in any wrestling promotion out there, even, old school, like when it comes to, TNA, WWE, the times that they would always be the most successful is when they were establishing their own superstars.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, because that's a very good take on it, Donnie. I agree with you 1,000,000% with that's what's happening and what's going to happen to AEW. How I describe it to friends is Tony Khan loves wrestling. Yes, he does. And he's great for like the independent guys right now. He has his pros. Tony Khan is like a dude who is that kid on the playground who found out you liked wrestling action figures. So what he did is he went out and he's like, I got this figure. And now I got this guy. Oh, dude, check it out. Now I got this guy fighting this guy. Isn't that fucking awesome? Okay, now I got this guy. All right, we're going to have, this guy's going to go this way. Well, what did I do? Oh, shit. Here, let me put him over here for a minute. Oh, God, remember? Now I got this guy. That's Tony Khan.
You, I think, really just like took a dart and you literally hit the bullseye.
That's what AEW is to me. It started off like, hey, I can get behind this, and it's slowly just like, bro, everything you wanted to go and do, you just fucking took it and said, now I'm going to be them instead, and now they're being the you should have been, and it's like, dude, this is just fucking wild, man. Like
He's gotten a little carried away with signing talent.
Oh, it's not just signing it too, dude. It's forgetting.
Forgetting, yes, there it is. Yes, exactly.
It's like, I know the guys are like, sweet, less schedule, dude. Like, way more laid back. But like, you can't say Jake Hager wanted to be there and be the purple hat guy. Like, you can't say that, like, fucking God.
Yeah, I went from kicking ass in MMA to wearing a purple hat that says, I like this hat.
Yeah, it's like he was never going to be a great promo guy, dude. The best years we had for him was when he was the fucking, like, American Patriot shit, dude. Like,
We the People.
Yeah, We the People. That's what it was, dude. With Dutch Mantel. Yeah, that was good. But, like, they're throwing all these people together. It's like when they signed Danhausen, I was like, oh, that's going to be awesome, dude, for him. And I'm just like, oh, no, what if he just forgets about him?
Yep, and then they threw him with best friends.
Yeah, like, dude, and that's like a thing when you stick them with the best friends, feud them with the best friends. Like, it's, I don't know. I get sad for some of the guys because I'm like, oh, dude, I really wanted to see fucking more Miro. Like, he was really finding himself, and then they shelve him because they just don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of their talent, they find themselves and then they just fumble it. Like Wardlow, he had so much momentum. He won the, he won the TNT champion, and then they stopped having him defend the title. And that's how the championship was so prestigious at the time. Why Cody, Brody Lee, Sammy Guevara were great champions because they would defend it every single week. And Wardlow would be having matches every single week, but then when he gets the title, doesn't do anything.
Bro, it's the Liv Morgan effect. disrespect in WWE. You give her the belt, she's the worst wrestler on the planet again. No charisma, no nothing. You have her chasing it. Oh, that's fucking awesome. She's actually entertaining to watch. Wow, that's weird. Like, that's what they did with Wardlow, dude. They fumbled the ball with him so fucking hard, dude. Like, people finally got behind him, and then they just said, what do we do now? Didn't he drop once or twice? Yeah, let's just have him do that again for a little bit. No, just go away. Oh, now Darby's the champion. Oh, Samoa Joe again? Okay, let's do that. Yeah, that works.
Hot potato. Scorpio Sky and Sammy Guevara were playing hot potato.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, that was fucking
I
awful.
hated it.
It was so bad. It was so bad, dude.
So speaking of fumbling the bag, this is something I definitely want to get into because we just talked about a lot of AEW and new school.
Yeah.
Who are some of the talent old school that you think they fumbled?
Ravishing Rick Rude should have been a world champion. Ravishing Rick Rude should have been a world champion. They carried that belt as a heel for at least 8 months. The fact that Mr. Perfect never got anything more than a mid-card belt is beyond me in just everything.
There's so many old school talent. I feel like their best title was the Intercontinental.
Yeah, but the Intercontinental title was so prestigious back then too,
yes.
though, and it's getting that again now thanks to Gunther.
Gunther is killing it.
Love that man. Love that man. That guy has.
He will be a WWE champion by next year. I'm telling you.
Great, ready? I'll tell you right now. I'll put a prediction out with you right now. We'll both say it. He's winning the Rumble next year. If he's not already champion and they've already split it into two. If they split it into 2 belts, he's going into the Rumble as a champion. If they still have just 1 belt, he's winning the Rumble.
Here, I got a quick prediction for you. So here's what I think is going to happen. Gunther is going to beat Cody because I think what's going to happen, Cody is going to be the WWE champion. Universal is going to be vacant. And then I think going into Survivor Series, Gunther is going to face Cody Rhodes because they were the final 2 in the Rumble. Gunther is going to be the one to beat Cody for the title and then have it until Mania and probably lose it then.
I like it. I like that a lot. Having a heel champion going into Mania with an easy way to lose. Bring someone else up if there's someone else to bring up with it. That works too. That definitely works. I don't know. I've seen so many happy Rumble moments lately, dude. So many happy Rumble winners, if you think about it. Yeah. Fan service winners, dude. A heel Rumble win. We need one, dude. We need one. And that would be a really fucking good one, dude.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, is there any WCW wrestlers you could think of that, they fumbled? Because I feel like there was a lot of them that Eric Bischoff and, Ted Turner
they missed finding the talent. It's weird thinking about it because, like, WWE did so good for the ones they fumbled the ball with, like your Chris Jericho's, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, the Radicals, dude. That was one of the coolest storylines ever, man. I loved the Radicals, man. I was so excited. Let's see here. That's Wonder Kid, Alex Wright. That kid was fucking great. That kid could put on fucking amazing matches, dude. He was like the Sammy Guevara back then, man. Putting on some crazy shit, dude. Dean Malenko, WCW fumbled the ball, in my opinion.
The man with 1,000 holds.
Oh, my God, dude. The Ultimo Dragon, like, I think he could have been bigger in WWE and in WCW. Like, during his 13-belt reign, dude, in, like, 96 minutes, some of the best matches from overseas.
I'll tell you somebody that WCW fumbled, in my opinion.
Who's that?
Bret the Hitman Hart.
That was a travesty, dude. But like,
no, he comes off the Montreal screw job, and
know.
WCW had a huge opportunity to do something that could have, kept going the 83 weeks, and then they just, completely fumbled it. Just put him in the United States title picture, and then they have him go against Goldberg, who now Bret Hart, any chance he gets, puts him on blast as he should.
Dude, Bret Hart was a bad drop, dude. But like the worst part about the Bret Hart drop was when it happened with like the way WCW handled the payoff of Sting and Hogan with that match at Starrcade '96, dude. Like, did you watch that?
I did. Yes, I did watch the Sting versus Hogan match.
You see a clear pin. Like, it sucked everything out of anything they were going for with that match, and all the work they did with Sting just died that day. So that's a fumble. That to me was a fumble. Well, they did,
and also that finger poke.
Oh, the finger poke of doom.
Yep.
Oh, that was bad, dude. David Arquette winning the belt. That was a bad fumble. But people they fumbled, like you were saying, like good wrestlers that could have get better. Alex Wright, I think should have went to WWE. I think Buff Bagwell could have did more in WWE, which is where he was at during that time.
Absolutely agree.
Was unfortunate. I traveled with Buff in a show with Raven in Nashville in like, oh God, I think 2011, dude. And Buff's awesome, dude. He's still great in the ring. He was great. This was a while ago. Like I said, we all know he's been through some shit now, and luckily DDP got in his life and fucking like helped him out.
Dude, I love the whole Rogers thing, Mr. Rogers things he's doing.
Yeah, it's great.
On social media, hilarious.
He was fantastic, dude. He was Canyon. That motherfucker was, oh my God, dude. He was so many of these future wrestlers' inspirations, dude. They'll tell you, like, there was nobody better than Canyon. Like, he was phenomenal, dude. Mike Awesome.
Mike Awesome, yep.
Fucking amazing, dude. Had some great matches. Dan Severn, when they had Dan Severn.
Oh, the Beast.
That was a bad one for them, dude. That one really, I felt like a drop ball.
Me and Old School Chaz, another person that like around, the Attitude Era that we felt like they fumbled bad, Owen Hart. How do you have the man go from being the Black Heart to the Blue Blazer?
Dude, I was there at 96 in your house, D-Generation X in Springfield.
Oh, that was in 97.
97, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, Old School Chaz was there too. That was his
that's
first
funny,
show.
dude. Yep, I was there for that.
He loves it.
That match was fun. Like Owen is like the blackface man, like the Black Heart. That shit was wild. He should have been winning a world title within a year after that, dude. They really fumbled that hard, man.
Like him and Shawn Michaels should have been a pay-per-view match, I felt.
Absolutely, dude. Like I think it was Ken Shamrock and Shawn Michaels, I think, in our main event, and Sergeant Slaughter versus Triple H. And Owen Hart versus I don't remember who.
No, I don't think Owen Hart wrestled. I think he came back as the Black Heart.
Oh, yeah, he came back during the match, dude.
Because of the whole Montreal screw job thing.
Yeah, that's right, dude. That's what it was. But yeah, they dropped that. Yeah, they dropped the ball with Owen hardcore, dude. Like, Owen could have been a world champion and should have been a world champion.
Steve Black. He should have never been the Blue Blazer.
Oh, dude,
at that time. All because he didn't want to do an angle with Deborah and Jeff Jarrett because he had morals.
I'll tell you what, though, dude. Like, on the Owen thing, I don't want to go too deep into it, dude, because it's just sad. But, like, I remember watching the Over the Edge pay-per-view live, like, on TV, man, and, like, that was crazy. That was one of the wildest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And the fact that, like, Vince had the show go on, like, that was so wrong, man. Like, and watching these matches and seeing these guys, you just knew, like, oh, dude, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And like I said, we didn't have like the internet really huge at the time, so like finding out, and then JR came on the trees, like Owen has died, and then they continued. It was like whoa, and they still went with it, man. Like that was probably the biggest fumble and the most
tragic thing in wrestling. Easily,
like, you should never have continued that pay-per-view.
Absolutely agree, because I feel like if it was, Shane and like, Stephanie, he would have ended the show.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He would have ended it. I mean, like, that's one thing I get to give Tony Khan kudos.
Yes, with the Hart Foundation, absolutely. He's done a fantastic job, honoring the legacy of Owen Hart. Yeah. I do agree with that.
And also with how he handled Brody. How
absolutely.
He kept it private. They kept it offline. They kept it the way they kept it. And knowing Eric. Like Eric Rowan, who was really close with him, dude. Like just talking with him about it, like it's really messed up how all that went down. And like, I mean, God love Brody and Owen, man. Like, but just Tony Khan handled that perfectly, and Vince was just a fucking monster for what he did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But now diving into, some of the road stories that you have, because of course, you've traveled with some, professional wrestlers throughout the years, bringing them, to independent wrestling shows and signings and stuff. What are some of the stories that, stand out to you? Because you got the opportunity to, be on the road with some of these people.
Well, here's the thing, man. There's some stories I'm sure I'd get in trouble telling that I can't.
Oh, of course. I totally understand that, man.
But I mean, to think of a few I can share with you. I did work with Raven a bunch in like 2010 to 2012. So like Raven's a fucking Scott's a cool dude. Scott's also a fucking Mensa member, and he's one of the smartest motherfuckers you'll ever meet in your entire life. But he also has zero fucking filter. zero fucking care, and will just fuck with anybody. I remember we were in Worcester and we did Rock and Shock, and we went to Pizzeria Uno, and we're eating there, and he's pulling up his phone with pictures of oddities that he keeps in his phone. And they're not real ones, most of them. They're just photoshopped, some of the weirdest shit you'll ever see in your entire fucking life. So our waitress comes over and goes, "Hey guys, what can I get you? What do you want to drink?" Dude, if Scott doesn't pull out his phone and take out a picture of a fucking girl with dicks for tits that are like dripping shit, and he holds it up to fucking this poor girl and is like, "So what do you think of this?" With the straightest fucking face, dude, and just that's him. Like, I remember the same Buff show I was telling you about. I was riding him with Raven. We went into I think it was a gymnasium in this small fucking Hobunk town, dude, because we came from the Nashville Tattoo Horror and Convention, and we were driving to a show on the outskirts of I think it might have been Atlanta.
Speaking of Raven, in 2012, I actually did get the opportunity to meet him at Big Time Wrestling in Springfield.
I was there, dude. I was filming with Pix D at that show. Do you remember the guys that were hitting him in the head with he hit in the head with a fucking kendo stick?
Yeah.
And we're doing the jackass type stuff. That was us. So we have crossed paths before, my friend. So yeah, we're driving to this
small world
town, dude. I'll after we're off air, I'll send you a link to the video of that show. He fucking goes in the bathroom and proceeds to take a shit. He then comes out and says, "Hey guys, I think I just made it go out of the bowl. And everyone come here." And all the fucking old school guys are running over knowing that oh yeah, someone wants us to see a shit. It's a normal fucking thing, dude. So he opens the fucking door of the stall, dude. And when I tell you, it's like a fucking soft serve ice cream cone up and out of the fucking bowl. Now, I don't know how this came out of a fucking man's ass. And he's just sitting there proud as a fucking peacock, dude. And the guys are coming in one at a fucking time to go look at it, dude.
Wait, this was at the Big Time Wrestling show?
No. This one was in Atlanta. No. But that's the Big Time Wrestling show. We the lawyer of my act that I had, he we wanted to kind of jump him into the whole business of say I was We Are Wrestling, I bring in a new guy, I'd haze him for 6 months, and I'd have people beat him up. So this guy was getting his hazings, and Raven was beating him in the head with a kendo stick all night. So another thing Raven would do, another person, not Raven, we had DDP on, and he just lit him up the entire fucking show and interview. And then we had Al Snow, where he titty twisted the guy throughout the entire fucking interview till his nipples bled. You wouldn't have wanted to work with me, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. That's crazy with some of the stories and stuff. Because that's the thing, with Raven, I don't know if you ever checked out his Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame speech. But pretty much he was just going on and on about, everything, just the most randomest shit during.
Oh, that's him. That's him. I haven't seen. Now I gotta watch it. Now I have to watch it, dude.
You have to.
That's him. It's totally him. He goes
for just
off
20 minutes straight too.
Dude, that doesn't surprise me at all. That's fantastic, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But there's a couple I could share. Recently, I smoked a joint with Sabu. That was pretty fucking badass, man.
I did see that on social media.
Huh?
I did see that on social media. You had a picture.
Yeah. I smoked a joint with Sabu. That was pretty badass. Dream Mania, all of it, what we did for Triple V, that's probably my favorite road story. That was fucking incredible, dude. If you guys never seen it, just go online, Google Dream Mania, Triple V. Triple V, we love you. We made this kid's dream come true, man. Flo Rida showed up, fucking we had all of Control Your Narrative pretty much, dude. Braun, Mojo, God love him, dude. I've worked with Mojo now for over a year, and Mojo and Paragon Entertainment are changing the industry of wrestling for people who get out of WWE and AEW to go and have a career that makes him just as much money now. And that's why he has such a good roster of people, man. So shout out to him for that. He's fucking amazing, dude. He's saving a lot of people right now.
And that's the thing, man. The Triple V, video, so inspiring to see.
Yeah, I'm more proud of bringing that kid up here, dude, and fucking doing what we did with him in Florida than anything I've done in wrestling. I'll tell you that, man. Here's one more good road story, and then I'm gonna end the road story. This is the perfect one though. Triple V.
All right.
Blitzkrieg Pro. We were working VSK versus Kalisto, and Triple V and myself were in Kalisto's corner, and Smart Mark was in VSK's corner. You were there for that show, right?
I was front row.
Okay. So we practiced and talked about the match about 10 times with V. And we're like, all right, so Manny's going to give us a signal. We're going to come in there and we're going to give him a low blow to Mark. And then we're going to roll out of the ring and not give a low blow, give him a stunner, tap him on the shoulder and give him a stunner. And then we're going to roll out of the ring. And then we're going to, then we're going to finish that off. So he's like, yep, I can do that. Yep, I can do it. We practice it. Yep, I got it. So we're out there and like, we're doing the match and it's time. And I look at V. I'm like, V, let's get in there. So we get in there and V taps him on the shoulder. And then Mark didn't turn around fast enough for V. So V went into business on his own and got down to his knees and gave him that Ric Flair low blow to the balls. Bro, that wasn't planned.
Wow.
That's
such an old school tactic too.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
That was his wrestling brain just saying, do that.
Yeah, and like the fact that like even like because when I saw that, like even myself, I marked out as a maniac because it wasn't just your typical. He literally went.
Oh yeah, he got all of it.
That was a Triple H Ric Flair low blow right there.
Oh yeah,
and then when he hit that stunner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he hits it so
huge
good,
pop.
Bro. Because that's what happened in Dream Mania. Like in the main event of Dream Mania, it was supposed to have 1 or 2 finishes. He just kept fucking doing more and more and more and more. I think by the end of that match, he did an RKO, a Judas Effect, a pedigree, a curb stomp, fucking like a stunner. Like he just kept going. Super kick after super kick. Like it was fucking crazy, dude. Like.
But that was such an awesome moment to see him. And like, even myself, I had the honor, I had the privilege, to get to meet Triple V as well.
Yep.
Such a nice kid. And like, I love that you guys are, doing, trying to help him achieve, this dream of his.
Oh, absolutely, man. And most importantly, to help, it's the cause. I mean, to take care of his sister, man. It's so,
absolutely.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's what happened to his sister. And it's so sad. It's so sad. Like I
teared up when I saw the video.
Yeah, I mean Lydia, his mom, like she's an amazing woman, dude. Like just to give her like a night too, where she get to watch him do that and just like have a few fucking drinks and relax, dude. Like I mean that woman has a hard life and she's one of those people that people could look up to and say like, wow, I could never do what you do. Like, and she works at Disney on top of that too, man. Like it's crazy, dude. So yeah, shout out for Triple V and all those people. Like, always in my heart, man.
That's right. And my last thing, I definitely want to, ask you before we close off this week's episode of Old School versus New School. When it comes to independent wrestling, because of course, both of us were very passionate with, Blitzkrieg Pro and stuff. What was your first independent show that you went
to? BTW was like they're fucking awesome, man. They always were putting on good shows, dude. They put on some really good ones. Other than that, like I don't remember the names of the companies. They weren't as poignant back then. It was like the poster you'd see at the convenience store would have the Legends pictures on it, like Tatanka appearing live, like or Chief J Strongbow appearing live, and you'd see that, and that was what sold you to go to the event. So it wasn't really like the names of a lot of these people because like the territories were kind of dying at that time. You know what I mean? Like we had your WCW, we had WWF, and we had, I think that really was it. I mean, Glow, there really wasn't much. ECW came around. That was like the next big thing. But like, we didn't really care what the company was because there was never a storyline or anything.
It was always the talent that they would bring in.
Yeah, it was always like, who's going to be at the show? Oh, did you see the poster? There's a show in Springfield tomorrow. And like, Davey Boy Smith's gonna be there, or like fucking Jim Neidhart's gonna be signing autographs, dude. Like that's what you'd see. You'd see the posters and you'd be like, oh, I want to go check this out, dude. That's a wrestling show. Sweet, let's check it out. Remembering the name of the company, like I don't remember any of them. But BTW made that different because they kind of made a brand for themselves.
Yeah, Big Time Wrestling. That was like my first independent show I went to when I was a kid.
Oh, Steve runs a hell of a fucking thing. Steve was one of the first people that let me go and start with like meeting these guys and interviewing these guys. One of my first interviews with Bret Hart in Springfield. And I interviewed Bret Hart that night. Shane
Was
Douglas.
that in 2012 or was that before then?
Oh, before then, dude. Yeah, this was like, I really don't remember, man. I'm an old stoner. And like I've been to a lot of shows, bro. But I remember the show they had on that night. Like Bret was the introduction to my radio show. And then I had like Norman Reedus, and that's when I started working with like the Walking Dead people for a while. And then I started working with Comic-Con, started doing shit with Stan Lee, like, and then I fell away from wrestling for a long time. But then I got back in around Ruthless Aggression and just fell in love again, man. Like,
yeah, no, I hear you on that. And for me, like big time wrestling was, the first time like I went to a, independent show because I was always, going to WWE. And like I also went to, some TNA wrestling live events, which those were really freaking good.
I'm jealous, dude. I will admit, dude, TNA, oh my God, were they good when they first started, dude. Holy fuck, dude. Like, one of my favorite matches of all time will always be Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and AJ Styles in a
triple threat match.
Ultimate X. Oh my God, dude. Like, holy shit, that was good. Like, they had such a good roster, and they were bringing new wrestling. They were the ECW of their time, dude. And I think they're criminally underrated.
I got to totally agree. And like, the funny thing is with that big time wrestling show that I went to in 2012, that was the first time I watched Jeremy Leary wrestle.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
He wrestled a triple threat match that night.
Wow. That's good. 11 years. Wow. Bro, you are the faithful they talk about, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, I even went to Jeremy's first show. The us versus them in the baseball field over there in Enfield.
That's freaking amazing, dude. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Guys like you that are the new versions of like the old school guys like us. Like that's why what you're doing here is so cool, man. And because like you have these independent wrestling stories where you've been following these guys for that long, and I have these stories of like trading tapes to find new shit and like going to these like ECW shows at bingo halls in Reading, like friggin' Massachusetts, because like that was like the closest we could get to it, or going down to the ECW arena, like seeing little independent shows that way, like hanging out in the parking lots of wrestling, like WWF shows, going to like Monday Nitros. Fucking, it was a party, man. Like the Nitro era, dude, like the Monday Night Wars, dude. My God, man. Like what a time to be a wrestling fan. You had those, dude, out in the area. Pay-per-views were coming to Worcester and Springfield. I saw Slamboree, dude. I saw Royal Rumble. I've seen 2 WrestleManias. Like, I mean, I've been to so many good pay-per-views, dude. Like, and I wish they'd all come out this way more now, but they're so much bigger.
Seriously.
Like with the stadium for WWE now, and like, I mean, shit, I kind of want to go to a WrestleMania now just to say, like, shit, I want to go to a.
Hey, WrestleMania 40 is going to be in Philadelphia.
There we go, dude. Maybe that's the one where I crack it out. WrestleMania 40 will be my 3rd WrestleMania, and I'll bring my kids, you know?
Yep, that might be my first one. I'm thinking about it.
I'll do it, man. There's nothing like it. I mean, I think my favorite pay-per-view I ever went to was Royal Rumble in Boston. Because it has my favorite match of all time, which I'm probably getting in trouble with people here, but like Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit, man, that was the best fucking match I've.
What year was this for Royal Rumble?
Rumble 2000 and I don't know.
I think 2003. I think it must have been
won the Rumble. I think 03.
Yep, Brock won in 2003.
Yeah,
yep, because 2004 Benoit won.
Did you watch the Benoit Angle match from that year?
Yes, I did. Classic.
The standing ovation that man got at the end of that match, man, like that lasted so long. I don't know if it was seen on TV the way it was, but that was the best wrestling match I've ever seen live.
That's insane, man. And that's the thing that makes, this series, Old School versus New School on the We Are Wrestling channel, interesting, is that we get to, talk about the old school history and the new school history, the differences between old school and new school, and really dive into these things every single week here on the channel.
Yeah, I like it. What you're doing here, man. I mean, if you think about it, this episode, what me and you did is we just spitballed about what I grew up with, that era, like what I liked, what you didn't like. Now, like if you said, hey, come on back, let's talk about like 1998, Bret Hart, fucking Steve Austin, shit like that, dude. Like, and have a specific topic. That's what you could do now. You could turn this into a thing, bring people in, see, hey, let's talk about fucking Undertaker and Kane. Let's talk about the Brothers of Destruction. Let's talk about the feud leading up. Bad Blood 96, the fucking debut, dude. Like it's
yeah,
endless.
because that's the thing with the We Are Wrestling, with the old school versus new school. Every week, old school Chaz and myself, we usually talk about like certain topics and like we try to compare the two. Like last week on here, we had the steel cages. We talked about the history of the steel cage and, what the blue cage, new school cage matches versus old school cage matches with like the rules and stuff. That's pretty much like what we do here on the old school, new school. But I figured this week, since we had you on here, definitely, I wanted to dive into your history and, learn a couple things, which I absolutely did. I did not know the executioner was Bam Bam Terry Gordy.
Yeah, dude, friggin' that was wild, man. I feel so bad for that dude. I was like, oh my God, man. Like Vince is just doing this to be mean. I don't know what was worse, dude. That or like Tony Atlas' Saba Simba.
Yeah. Tony Atlas, man, for me in my childhood, I remember him on the Abraham Washington show just going,
Dude, do you know what Saba Simba was? Did you see it?
I didn't know.
Oh, bro. See, I could see the reaction that you gave me. Like, oh, yeah. Bro, no, look up Saba Simba. Sabsimba, 2 words. And, I mean, shit, I almost want you to do it right now so I can watch your face when you see it. And look what Vince did to Tony Atlas.
Definitely got to send me the link. I'll make a reaction video.
Bro, it's so racist.
Damn.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
But yeah, anything else you want to say to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs before we close this week's episode off?
No, I'm good, man. I probably like relit my joint 10 times during this entire show, and now I'm finally gonna smoke that little nub at the end and curl up and watch Raw.
Hell yeah.
So
let us know in the comment section below. We Are Wrestling Maniacs. Your thoughts on, this week's episode of Old School versus New School. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description below. You can go follow Phil. I'm going to put, his links down below as well. And, you can go check out my other YouTube channels and stuff, all that down below. In addition, you want shorter clips of, the podcast on here. We'd be posting them over on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all that down below. And, of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.